Alright guys, so here I'm going to show you how to shoot the burning filament. Standard 75 watt light bulb, cheapest pair of pliers you can find, and a plastic bag big enough to hold the light bulb. So a lot of people tell you, put it in there, hit it with a hammer. Well, that works, but you got to worry about, glass flying everywhere, what's under it, all that, and you're fighting against physics. Spheres are strong. So instead, put it in your bag there, take your cheap pliers, put it around the neck. Now, right here I have a little trouble gripping onto it, but yeah, give it a good try, get it in there. Once you get it locked, just squeeze. There it goes, the light bulb goes flying away, and now you're left with your bulb and hopefully your filament intact. I've broken a couple of them, but if it breaks and falls down, you can really just hook it back onto that other lead and it'll work fine. Alright, and I'm going to break another bulb here, and while I'm doing that, when you're breaking these, you can try to break them a little higher up the neck and get some interesting cracks through it, and you'll be left with a kind of some of the glass left in that collar, and that can make for an interesting addition to the photo. You get a lot of light reflected off of that. You get some sharp edges, and just something different to play with than that boring bare bulb that we're going to do first. And the reason I like the bag technique so much is because all your broken glass is contained. There's really no cleanup. You just pick up the bag and toss it or save it for another project. Alright, and this is the light that I like to use. It's a standard hardware store cheapo light socket. The reflector comes right off of it. You can see the swivel gimbal there. The reason I really like these things though is that top collar. You can unscrew it and expose the socket without exposing the really dangerous electrical parts there. And the fact that it's got the tong grips, you can clip it on a stand or on a shelf or whatever you got. Makes them real handy for this. Alright, now we're ready for the bulb and filament, so I'm going to go put those in. Putting those in, what I'm trying to do is to line up the filament and those two wires so that they're flat across the focal plane. They'll all be in focus. The nice thing about that cheap lamp that we're using is you can twist the whole base around to get that where you want it instead of trying to move the camera in the stands. The D700 has a live view, which makes it really easy to frame up your shot. Notice I'm leaving plenty of room there for the smoke that's going to come off of that filament. But also it helps you with the focus. I'm going to zoom into 100% here and manually focus on that 105mm I'm using so that the filament and the leads are nice and sharp. Okay, the settings that I've found worked well for this are 1/2500, f8, and an ISO at 200. And in normal room lighting, that's just going to give you a black frame. So it's kind of nice that you don't have to stumble around in the dark for this project like some of the others that involve fire. Now for the fun part. I'm skipping past plugging in the electrical and all that. Set my camera in high speed mode. You're going to see me test to make sure that it's in high speed mode. Then hit the switch, hold down the button, and here we go. You can see the burn lasted just a few seconds there. The 700 shoots at about 8 frames a second, so I'll get plenty to work with. If you're shooting just one or just a few, try to time it for the middle of the burn if you can, because that's where you're going to get the best smoke. At the beginning you're just going to get the glow, and at the end you'll get kind of a glow on that broken filament. These shots came from what we just did here. Of course you can take them into Photoshop and add some color, make them a little more interesting. Anyway, that's how you shoot the burning filament. If you have any questions, email me, john@johnbeard.com.